All right, what's up everybody? This is NSX Chris Cut. Thanks for tuning in. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I made the roof rack, because I made another version for the trailer, how I got the roof tent on it, and how I made a trunk rack that goes on top of the trunk for extra storage. Also, I'm going to be doing a pin giveaway during this video, so watch it in its entirety because there's going to be some hints. What I'm going to do is, it's an item from the 1980s, early 80s, and I'm going to put the vowels of what it is. I'm going to flash them on the screen throughout this video. I'm not going to put the consonants, but I'm going to put the vowels, and I'll leave another tip at the end too. Also, if you guys want a little cheat code for it, there's been a lot of articles written, and in one in particular, it says exactly what it is that I got. It's something that I've wanted for a very long time, and I'm happy that I got it. So I won't tell you guys which article. That'll take the fun out of it. You guys are gonna have to work a little bit. I'm not saying whether it was Super Street or Top Gear or Drive Tribe or any other ones, so that's up to you guys to go find. So good luck, and you'll have to find which one it is. I believe I mentioned it in one of the earlier ones, exactly what it is. And the first 5 people that can guess what I just got, which is in addition to the trailer, it'll be like the final finishing touch. If the tent is the cherry on top, this is the sprinkles. Whoever guesses it wins a pin. First 5 people. I'll be giving away 5 pins. Good luck. As soon as you guys have it figured out what the Lean Customs pin giveaway is, what item I got, I won't be disclosing what it actually is until the very end of the trailer build, because it's the last final touch that's going on it. So what you guys need to do is, once you figure it out, message me on Instagram at NSXtra with your guess on what it is, and I'll let you know if you got it right. So this thing came off a trike. I was at my friend's shop and he gave it to me, and I figure I'll utilize it. So I'm gonna probably cut off these tabs and have these suction cup things here. So I'll try to figure out how to fabricate a way to mount that to that. I can't just weld it on because these are aluminum, that's steel. But it's gonna go on top of the trailer right here on the trunk, and I'll use it to store firewood or those traction boards, or who knows, just extra supplies, luggage, whatever. Okay, so the first thing that has to happen is I have to cut off these arms. I may cut off the full bottom part here, these as well. I don't know, I'll have to play with it, but I'll make it work. Spots here, but I can grind those down, paint them, make them nice and smooth, fill them in, whatever. And yeah, let's see, I might just use I might really go ghetto rigged here and just do some hose clamps just like that, or maybe a nut and bolt would be better going through, a couple through bolts, some nylock nuts, some lock washers, that'll work too. I'm kind of digging this front to back one though, because it gives me more room. Well, we'll see. Can always be modified. Okay, so that works. Here they are. Kind of ghetto. I might put some through bolts. Oh, these are holding well for now, and we'll see how it looks on the car. All right, so I'm happy with it. Looks good, with the exception of the hose clamps, obviously. But it works. I may do something about that. I get a little OCD sometimes, and right now it's totally functional. These things are very, very strong. So, but yeah, you know, I could put the traction boards up there or firewood, anything really. So it'll be functional. Just a little bit of extra storage. Never hurt anybody. So I'm happy. What do you guys think? Am I an idiot, or is this useful? Can't even really tell it's there actually. When you're looking at the car, it kind of blends right in with the wing, from this height anyway. So I think it's a nice addition to the trailer. Yeah, it's on there good. Move the whole car. Eddie's here, boosted Eddie, and we just put his Rocket Bunny Miata on the car to lift this thing sick. We got a little exhaust leak we're gonna take care of, but yeah, should Should be a productive day. I'm also installing the air compressor. I may put out a video about that. So we're doing the exhaust. Yeah, I have black spray paint in my basement, or you could look underneath there in that gray toolbox, the Craftsman one. I think on the bottom there might be a can. It looks nice under here though, all wrapped. The wrap turns white when it gets hot, or is that from a chemical or something?
I think that was an antifreeze number.
Oh, antifreeze turned it white. Honestly, you should just antifreeze the whole thing then. So we gotta track down an exhaust leak, which means we have to make this thing run. And in the meantime, I'm just trimming some leftover zip ties here just to neaten everything up. All right, let's hear the exhaust now that there's no leak. Give it a little blip. All right, back to, I gotta wire up my compressor and then back to working on the trailer. Eddie's deburring these pieces of flat stock aluminum that I cut, and they're gonna get welded here now. All right, so having some kind of like universe being against me thing right now for finishing this front end. It's taking me forever. First, my compressor broke, so I replaced the compressor. I'll actually make a video about that, showing exactly what I upgraded to. I got a good deal. Then accidentally I left my gas open, and apparently there's a slow leak because I came out to weld and it was coming out like crap. Not that my welds ever come out great, but this time was particularly bad and it was just getting all black and sooty. And I realized, oh, I ran my tank out of gas. So I had to wait to get more argon. And I still have so much to do to this thing with the wheels and the roof rack. So I feel like I just need to kind of step away from this portion, and I'm going to do something else just to kind of change it up a little bit so I don't stick with one part of the project for too long. I'm notorious for starting things and not finishing them, but I am definitely going to finish this. Obviously I have to, preferably sooner than later. But what I'm gonna do is make a roof rack for this car, for the trailer. It's gonna be very similar to the roof rack for the main tow car, which is right here. And basically what I'm gonna do is I think I'm just gonna set this roof rack down on the ground, lay down some square tubing over it, weld it, kind of use that as a pattern to start it off. Now this version is going to be different. These arms that stick out really far here, they're troublesome sometimes, but I had to do that in order for me to open up the hatch and the trunk lid. So since the tent, which is up there, is much wider than that, and this roof rack, this version 2 that's going to be used on the trailer, will be strictly used for the tent, I can actually go a little wider with the frame and bring it all the way out and have arms that come straight down. And I want to go in between this crack with some wide aluminum, and maybe I'll stiffen it up with some square tubing, we'll see. And that should allow me to open up the trunk and the hatch without having such a dramatic angle of suction cups here. And I'll be able to bolt it right to the frame. So that's the plan. That's what I'm gonna try doing right now. So stick around, let's see how it comes out. Okay, so here's the actual roof rack. This is the first version that I designed and my friend David fabricated for me before I had an aluminum welder. So now I'm gonna attempt to do it myself. So I have these 4 pieces of square tubing, and I'm just gonna overlay them on top of this, clamp them together, and weld it, and that'll start me off with the basic shape of it anyway. So I have the actual dimensions of this, and I will post them here. Okay, so I've measured the center points for the actual rack and these square tubing pieces that I'm putting on, just to make sure everything's in line and overhanging the same amount. This side I'm gonna leave overhanging about that much on each side for now. That side I am also leaving overhanging for now, but eventually when I put it on the car I will trim off. I'm thinking of 2 to 3 inches off each side, since it'll be unnecessary and I don't need it hanging over the roof. Next, I'm going to measure between here and here, and here and here, make sure everything's square, because I'm not just gonna assume that this rack is square because I didn't make it. So I'm gonna do 3, 4, 5 to make sure everything's square, and then I will tack everything up and then weld it in place. So the measurement I got was 34.5 inches in between these two. And so I just cut down the square tubing to that. And now I'm just gonna clean it up, deburr the ends where I cut, clean all the aluminum, that as well, and then start tacking it up. Okay, so there's the basic shape of it. My welds are getting a little bit better, I guess, maybe. Oh, and in the meantime, I got some more goodies here. These were sent over from Austria. What I have here is the trunk actuator and a key and lock cylinder and the trunk carpet. Again, I'm adding more weight to this trailer, but I think it's worth it. So right now what I have to do, if I want to pop this trunk, I ran the cable back under this wheel so I could reach in there and yank on it and it pops this. But I do want to do carpet. Oh, let me get this off so it doesn't fall. I do want to do carpet in here. I think it's worth the extra weight. It doesn't weigh that much. And yeah, it'll make it look nicer in here. So yeah, you can see where I ran this cable down through the hole there so I could pull it to open it up, and I won't have to do that anymore because I'll have a key and an actual actuator which I could hook up to an automatic trunk popper with a key fob. And yeah, there's the traction boards in there which will be stored on this. So I know this isn't a tremendous deal to really anybody except for me, but this makes me very happy that I have a key and that I could now pop the trunk. Will make life a lot easier than having to reach in the wheel well when it's aired down and trying to pull the cable. So now I get to reroute the cable back out of there and hook it up to the actuator. And I don't know if I'm gonna run a wire up to the front inside the car up there with a button. That's probably what I'll do. Maybe I'll get some kind of key fob that could do it remotely. But yeah, small victories. And there's the trunk actuator. And now I have the carpet installed. I still have to put some clips in it, but yep, that's it. There's all the clips. Nice and clean, hides all my ugly wiring. So the version 1 roof rack that I have that goes on the main car, it's great. It's held on by suction cups there and there on the quarters, and then 2 oval shaped ones on the roof. I have another video about how that's made. And I'm working on the version 2 one right now, which is right here. And the reason it's not going to be the same is, while I am confident in these suction cups on the main car, they have indicators on them, and when it loses suction, they kind of, a little orange stem sticks out. And I could see that from my rearview mirror. So if I'm driving, I usually check my rearview mirrors, and every time I get to a gas station, I'll get out and check them. And then I also have strapping that comes from the trunk and the interior through the targa, and that holds it down just in case the suction cups were to fail, the vacuum pumps. But on the trailer, because it's going to be harder to see that in my rearview mirror unless I get big, giant, ridiculous tow mirrors, which I might do just to be funny, I don't want to use suction cups on this car. So I want it to be basically bolted on and easily removable. So I'm thinking I'm going to do riv nuts up here where I could just use a thumb screw to screw down the front of it. And then back here, originally what I was going to do is run metal down in between the gap between the quarter panel and use this bolt hole to bolt pieces of metal for uprisers or standoffs or whatever you want to call them. But now I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I have that unscrewed. I will bolt it down to this somehow. So that's what I'm sitting here contemplating and brainstorming and just kind of speaking out loud to you guys. Just getting my thoughts out there. It's good to talk it out sometimes, and then I'll be able to figure it out. And I don't know, I'll just kind of wing it and see what happens. But yeah, this is for the roof rack, and this is only going to hold the tent. The trailer is only going to hold the tent, where the car will be set up to hold the tent and the roof box.
We're not going to like instead of welding it like this, like flat, we should just cut it 2/15/16.
Okay.
This way.
Okay. All right, we can do that. All right, everybody. I'm in the garage with Cassius and Zach. Zach, what's your Instagram?
Zach, I have him.
Okay, so Zach is going to help me hurry along this fabrication portion because it's taking me forever. My idea was, instead of using the suction cup roof rack like that's on the other car where the suction cups mount to the quarter panels, what I wanted to do was just run bars straight down to where this rear window garnish usually is. But the problem is this isn't really flat, it's got all contours, and I was struggling with figuring out how to make these contours and mount the what I'm calling uprisers that hold the rooftop tent in place, or the roof rack. So his idea, he came in here and he just kind of big brained it and was like, you idiot, just make this flat, the whole thing. So that's what he's doing right now, and this is why I have him here, because this is what he does for a living. He TIG welds aluminum, and this should make it go a lot quicker. I have no idea how jealous I am of this kid's freaking welds. I've been practicing for hours and hours, and I have not, I guess that's what happens when you practice. You said you've been welding since you were like...
Little guy.
Little kid, right? How old are you?
10, 11.
No. That's my bead. This is me just, I turned up the welder as high as I could go, and I said I'm gonna go as fast as possible. That's me at 60 hertz, then I turned it to 120. I did that one right above it, which is nice. Then those two are Zach's. First time we ever sat down at the machine. And then there's another one of mine. So, just the difference between years of experience. Okay, so Zach welded the flat brackets down here, as you can see, but we're gonna have posts sticking up, so I need to cut a little notch out of this factory rear window garnish. So there it is, fitting in there nice and snug. It's not the most perfect cut, but I'm thinking it'll just kind of sit maybe flush like this, or maybe we'll have the smaller ones come up, or just kind of play around with it and see how it works out. But this will be painted black, obviously, so it won't be that noticeable. I might even do these carbon fiber to match the other car, but that's later on down the road. Right now I just want to finish the project and worry about cosmetics later. You know stuff's getting serious when we're breaking out lasers to get everything all NASA quality. All right, so Zach's cleaning up here. He's gonna start welding there. We just tacked everything, made sure everything was square. Over here, we have little center marks we made. So we got this center mark right here. You can see the laser. Another one there, we marked the center of the car. We marked it in a few places. There's one. Right there is another. And then we marked the center of the front, which is where the laser is. And then we kept test fitting the roof rack and here on the plates that he made, and we marked in there where it's going to be going and checked it with the plastic rear window garnish. And now that everything's center, he's just going to weld it up And then I'm going to cut these ends 2.5 inches, and we'll figure it out from there. Okay, so this is the gist of it. We're just kind of playing it by ear, but everything still has to be leveled and plumbed and square and all that. But this is basically what it's gonna be. And then it'll be powder coated black. And yeah, that's basically it. I haven't decided exactly how we're gonna mount the front yet, but it is gonna be an inch higher. That's why I put this 1-inch block underneath it. And that's it. So yeah, it's coming along. All right, so we measured a bunch of times and we just tacked it in place to see how it works. Now I'm gonna try to put the plastic rear window diffuser over it. All right, so now I have these doofy things sticking out.
Don't want your car to catch on fire. There's paint underneath.
Look at that. Just little stitches like that.
Yeah.
You want to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
I got fire extinguishers. Send it. Seriously, I don't care. All right, glad that portion's done. So just some finishing touches. I gotta bolt down the front right here and bolt down that side. Paint it black or get it powder coated, I'm not sure. And then drill 4 holes on each rail for the rooftop tent. And that's it. Then the back of this thing is all done, other than some more wiring I gotta do in there. It's easily removable. And now I can concentrate on just the front of this thing. So, end is in sight. Feels good. All right, so I got these mounted on. I just put through bolts down with thumb nuts underneath. And then I drilled my holes back here. I got these pins through to keep it from lifting up from wind when I'm driving. So this is all done. I got my holes drilled on top. And now I just have to move it around and lower the tent down on top of it, and that's it. So I'm so excited that this portion is done. The roof rack's done, the roof tent's on it. It looks great. Here's a sneak peek of a photo shoot that Red Herring Photography did of my car. And this is for Super Street and Top Gear articles that are about to come out. So here's a little sneak peek of the photos. Thanks for watching, guys. I can't wait to just finish the front of this trailer. And this is all I have on my plate now. It's just the front. I've wanted one of these forever. And if you can guess what it is, this license plate is going right here. If you guys can guess what this is, then you'll win a pin. So the first 5 people to guess what this is win a Lean Customs pin. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate the support. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below, and stay tuned for more videos coming shortly. I try to release one every week. Thanks.